Hi, and welcome to the Access 2010 Visual and Oral Supplemental to Introduction to Database Tables. So if you've got your guide in front of you, you can go ahead and turn over to page 2 and take a look at our exercise. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be creating our first Access database and our first Access table. So what I want you to do is, through your best method, go ahead and start Access. You could go through the Start menu, over to Microsoft Office, and do Microsoft Office 2010, because that's the system that we're going to be working in today. You're going to click on Microsoft Access 2010 icon and launch a new database. You should already have done the mobile survey, which was part 1 of the exercise, and created the information that you're going to need to put records into the table. But today we're just going to create the database and the table. So from your desktop, you've opened Access 2010, and you're going to go ahead and rename it in the file name box. You're going to call it Survey Says. And then once you've done that, it's on blank database. You're going to go ahead and click Create. And you'll notice that Access opens a blank database named Survey Says with a blank table already open in our datasheet view. Step 2. You're going to be open with your Table 1 ready, and you're going to notice that it looks similar to Excel. It has cells that are column and row intersections. But what is it different for? Well, Excel is good for storing data and number functions, but Access is a relational database. It analyzes and organizes and connects data in a meaningful way. And how it does that is through the tables that we're going to create right now. So with it open in our view, we're going to switch to Design View by coming up to the icon in the upper left-hand corner and choosing Design View. It asks us to name the table, so we're going to name the table Survey Says and click OK. You'll notice that it now says Survey Says. We're in Design View. We have our first field still here, and it is the primary key, the unique identifier. Because our information is based off of a survey with first name and last names, we have no unique identifier. So Smith, John, or Carlos Garcia, we could have many and many of those. So we want something unique, and we're going to leave our first field ID name auto-numbered, so that creates a unique identifier. So you could have John Smith with the ID of 2 and John Smith with an ID of 1002. All right, so we're going to go ahead and accept this first ID. You notice you have your field name here and your data type here. And if there were a description, we would say something similar to primary key unique identifier. But we're going to click in the blank field below the ID column, and we're going to create our first name field. So we'll go ahead and type that right on in there, first name, and I'm going to hit Tab. And you'll notice that the default value is going to be text. This is what we want for the first name field, so I'm going to go ahead and tab twice down so I'm below the first name field in the next available field name, and that's where I'm going to enter the text on letter F, last name, which is also a text field. Now you'll notice the field size is very long for a last name. We could shorten it if we want to, but for our case we're going to leave the default values. Go ahead and click in the field below last name and enter the text age. And then it's also going to be a text field. And following our mobile survey, we're going to go ahead and use figure 3 to complete the table. So the next field is the sex field. And this one's going to be a little different. It's going to show up as text, but we want it to look up a value. We're going to use the lookup wizard. It's going to launch into a new dialog box, and you're going to change it. I will type the values that I want. You're going to click Next. And we only want one column. You're going to click in the cell and type female. And then you can either hit You hit tab or go down below by clicking it and do mail. Then you're going to click the next button. You want to limit the field to the list and then click finish. So you've created your first different data type. Now you notice it still says text. It is a lookup field, but a lookup field is text. All right, so let's go ahead and finish it. We're going to do mobile phone. And that's a yes, no field. I went ahead and hit the Y key. And then we're going to do BPC or CIS 105, which is one of the questions on the survey. That is also a yes, no field. And then this is where we ask them to self-identify themselves for a level of expertise with computers. This one is also a lookup field. So you're going to follow the same procedure. Go to the lookup wizard. You're going to type the values that we want, one column, and we're going to do beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Click next, limit to the list, and click finish. All right, let's go ahead and finish off our fields. Okay, so we have picture taken. Did you get a picture of the person? And then finally, the picture itself. And in this case, we want it as an attachment. So if I were going to use the pull down list, I would choose attachment because we want to attach it to the record. So if we've gotten all the way through the list and your list should look like mine, you're going to go ahead and save and close the table.